What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be your Overwatch Season 23. I think it's 23 we're going to be going into. There's 2 days left of, I think, Season 22 we're on right now. Going into the next season, whether it's, I think it's 23 or 24 or whatever one. As we do go into this, I decided I want to make a tier list. It's been a while since I made the last Overwatch tier list. A lot of shit's changed. I cannot stress that enough. So much stuff has changed. But before we do get into this, if you guys want me to continue doing these types of tier lists, if you guys do enjoy them, let me know by leaving a like. And if you're new and this is your first time finding my channel, leave a subscription as well. It really helps me out on our way to 350 subs, hopefully here by the end of the month, which is in like 2 days, but at least from when I'm recording this. Now when I'm recording this, there's about, I think, 2 days left of the season we're currently on, going to this next season, which I think is 23. Either 23 or 24, whichever one it is. I'm not 100% sure on the top of my head, but we just had a major balance patch come out, I think, earlier today, with like a slew, like legit, like 2 pages full of balance that pretty much changed almost everything again. And I don't think they're going to be doing any types of balance again, at least for another week and a half. So I decided to do a tier list going into this next season, because this is going to be what we're going to be going into the new season with, at least for the first week. If you're viewing this video, depending on when you're viewing it, stuff could have majorly changed. I don't know, this is going up at the end of August, so depending when you're viewing this video, stuff might have changed already. One of the things I really hate with Overwatch, and I'm finding that's really frustrating, at least as a player, and really takes me out of the game, is the amount of balance changes we constantly get. It seems like legit every week we get an experimental card for about 3 days, and then we get like a slew of balance changes. Blizzard does not know what to do to balance all these characters. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and it's relevant and evident by all the the balance changes and the constant nerfing this, buffing this, nerfing this. Oh shit, now the tanks are overpowered. Now we need to nerf a shitload of tanks. Oh shit, now the healers are overpowered. Now we need to nerf the healers. Oh, now the damage dealers need a nerf. Like, I honestly don't know what the fuck they're doing. And as a player, at least trying to play ranked and trying to play the game at like a ranked level, it's just really frustrating, especially when you only play like a certain number of characters, like to a high level. Like, I only play like a handful of characters in this game, at least still. Don't get me wrong, I can play any character, but at least a certain handful of characters from combined all the roles and / classes in this game that I can play like at a top level, like elite carry games level type of level. And when they're constantly buffing and nerfing stuff, you can't get used to the fucking game. That's one of the things I absolutely fucking hate about Blizzard and Overwatch, that Paladins doesn't do. Paladins needs more type of balancing changes, which we don't get until like 3 months later. But I'm not going to complain. Two separate games, 2 different problems, whatever. So I haven't really been playing ranked as much lately. I've been first trying to get into it now. I probably won't be getting into it very much until this new season does start. So did not make it to top 500 this time, unfortunately. I just did not have the time to grind all the way there. A lot of stuff going on IRL, and I had a Paladins battle pass to go through. So pretty much the tier list. I know there's a lot of stuff I talked about at the beginning, whatever. I only do these tier list videos like once every 3 months, so I'm going to fill you guys in on everything I'm talking about and everything I want to discuss. SS is going to be your top tier stuff that needs to be nerfed in the next patch, or whenever they decide to do next type of balance changes, which I'm assuming is probably like a week and a half from now. S is going to be your top tier stuff, not really necessarily nerf worthy, but really super good, that you can carry games and still do very well with. A plus is your above average stuff. A is average, only good on about a handful of maps, maybe like 2 or 3 maps. Apart from that, it's garbage. B, very situational, only good on like 1, maybe 2 maps. C, good on like 1 map, maybe. And D is trash, never going to use this hero. We're going to get right into this. Now, this does include Echo, so Soldier 76, A, average. Also take into consideration, before I do get into this any further, that I do only play on console, so this may look a little bit different if you're playing on PC. This tier list may look a little bit skewed, but I only play on the Nintendo Switch. So if you're on a Nintendo Switch player, then this might look a lot better than if you're like a PC player. It might look way off. Just keep that in mind when I do go through this tier list. Back to the tier list. Soldier 76A. I mean, there's nothing that really makes Soldier 76 good unless you can't aim. He has an ult that allows you pretty much just to get free kills just because you don't know how to aim. Apart from that, he does okay shield break, okay damage, okay mobility. He has his own self-sustain. Apart from that, he's extremely average. I'm not going to talk about him very much because nothing's with him really changed. He's probably the only really reliable hit scan that hasn't been nerfed, at least recently with these last couple patches. That's somewhat okay still. Even then, just because of his ult's really underwhelming compared to a lot of the other hit scans still, even when them being nerfed. Orisa, A+, just your typical, I wouldn't say she's typical tank, but I think she's just very solid, above average, A+, works on almost all the maps, different types of comps, great with things like Bastion, Bugger type comps, Orisa, Torb, a lot of different things. Zarya, fucking broken. Now they actually released a patch earlier, I think it was yesterday or today, to where they actually nerfed beam damage, and she actually kind of nerfed her secondary fire. Not much of a nerf. She's still fucking broken, absolutely fucking broken. If they want to actually nerf her the right way, take away uptime for her personal shield, and take away either health or cut down the uptime on her bubbles. Her bubbles and her personal shield make her fucking broken. She constantly has 100% power on her weapon. She does way too much damage. She's unkillable against the right teams because all the good damage dealers now got nerfed, and she didn't get nerfed at all. Barely. She got her alternate fire nerfed, and they actually made a little bit of adjustments to armor, where armor actually is a little bit better versus beam type damage, which is her primary weapon. Apart from that, she's just as broken as last patch. They need to fucking nerf her. Nerf her damage, do something. Nerf her damage, nerf her uptime on her self bubble, or the bubble she gives to allies. I think that's the way they need to nerf her from now on. She gets her ult way too fast. She does way too much damage, and she's almost unkillable. Especially if she's playing with something like a Roadhog, or like a Winston, or like a D.Va. Fucking terrifying. I absolutely fucking hate going against those teams. Torb. Another one of those damage heroes that has not received any type of nerf when mainly everything else in the damage class has some type of nerf. Way too much armor, way too much health, does way too much damage. His turret still has way insane amounts of damage. Granted, it is pretty easy to kill in most situations if it's not set up correctly and not placed in the correct spots or guarded properly. But still, he does way too much damage. He gets his ult way too quick, way too much survivability. He needs some type of nerf, hopefully this next patch, probably in like a week and a half from now. If you want to win easy games and play defense, probably one of the best defense damage heroes currently you can play on like any defense on almost any map. Fucking broken, does way too much damage. Auto-lock turret just pretty much pads your stats for damage. And then anything extra, it just charges your ult even quicker. Sigma S. I think Sigma is still top tier. Probably one of the best tanks in the game. Almost good on any map, fits on almost any comp, apart from like dive, but it can still work on that if you play it correctly. Just overall really solid, really good ult. His shield has the most versatility out of any shield, being you can place it wherever you want to place it. They did reduce the health on it a couple patches ago, or like a couple balance patches ago, which is like legit only like 2 or 3 weeks, but still very solid. Not really broken type worthy, like nerf worthy, but I think he's definitely top tier, and he's currently in a good spot in my honest opinion. Not too broken, but he's just really good. Reaper, fucking broken. If you want to win ranked games easily, you pick up Reaper and you just go after another team. Another thing that makes Reaper real good right now is that Roadhog is so good. It's probably the best tank in the game. Spoiler. And Reaper is probably the best DPS currently, with all the other DPS hit scans at least getting nerfed. He's probably the only thing that can really deal with Roadhog, and the only thing that can actually 1v1 Roadhog still. Apart from that, everything else really gets destroyed currently by him. I guess maybe Tracer can go against him, but if you get hooked, you're automatically dead. Roadhog actually did get buffed as well with his damage, so you have to play a little bit more cautious around Roadhog. If you get below like half health, he hooks you and you're automatically dead. So you just have to play around his hook and bait out his hook cooldown, but otherwise you can still 1v1 him and kill him in every situation. Still broken up close, does way too much damage up close. Nerf his up close damage and buff his fall off range. Make it to where he does a little bit more damage at medium to long range. Please. He's fucking broken up close. I'm sick of fucking going against Reaper and getting headshotted and getting one tapped. Should not be the case with anything in the game. Baptiste received some huge nerfs. Gonna put him at an A. He got a huge nerf to his, I think it's regenerative burst. It got it cut by almost, I think, more than half, like 75%. So now if you're standing in a group of people, you're only gonna get like a little bit of like a tick heal. I think it's like 20 health or like 25 health of a tick heal now from his regenerative burst. A, situational. It works into some comps. He's better on some certain maps apart from others. His healing is still decent. Don't get me wrong with his secondary fire on his bionic cannon, but he gets his ult way less now. Doesn't do nearly as much healing just because of this last patch really nerfed the fuck out of him. Mccree. I'm actually going to put, even though Mccree got a heavy nerf this patch with his primary fire being slowed, I think it's down to like 0.50 or 0.25% or something. He got it slow on his primary fire, guys. You just can't spam it anymore and just spam all your bullets in like one target like within like 2 seconds. He actually he got like the Androx's Curse Revolver treatment in my honest opinion. Now he's fires pretty much the same as Androx. If you guys play Paladins, that's pretty much what he does. I actually prefer the slower fire rate just because it requires you to have a lot better aim, and coming from Paladins and playing Overwatch anyway as I'm working into Paladins type stuff with Androxus, so it naturally playing Mccree now with the slow fire rate, it actually made my Mccree gameplay even better. So at least for me personally, I think it's actually a buff for him, but some people might say it's a nerf. I think he has that instant execute on his ult anyways. The only thing he really struggles with is he's not able to 1v1 tanks as well unless you fan the hammer and land all your shots and get a couple headshots now. Or you kind of have to poke from range and then go in when they're really low. You just can't like 1v1 people as much. So, apart from that, I think he's still a solid S. I think he's really top tier as probably one of the better hit scans. Ana got hit with a huge nerf this patch. They reduced her ammo from 14 down to 12, taking away 140 healing and making her reload a shit ton more. Really sucks just because Ana is actually one of my top healers and probably one of the healers I do main out of was two. Now it's, I guess, technically 3 healers I only do play really religiously that I can actually do good with. I can play all the healers, guys, but if you want to really do good in ranks, I can only play maybe 3 healers now. But she got a huge nerf this patch. Really reduced her ult generation rate. She's constantly having to reload. It means you have to be more accurate with your shots, so you just can't be spamming your shots and missing all your shots and expect to keep your tanks fully healthy. If anything, I think she's only really good if you're playing console like me into teams that have really huge hitbox type tanks. D.Va, Winston, Roadhog, stuff like that, or Orisa, tanks that have a huge hitbox so you can easily land your shots. My aim's good, but it's not like a great type of aim. I'm not going to land like every shot if you're moving like 100 miles an hour like a Genji or like a Junkrat flying into the air like a Pharah. I can't really hit the majority of those shots, even being like putting like a majority of my support play hours onto Ana. I don't know. She's still good if you have like precise like pinpoint aim. You can still make her work, but if you're like me and you're like a mainly like above average to like, I wouldn't say pro player, but more of like above average player that just plays the game not religiously, but more than like an average player, I guess, and you have like a way above average aim like me, but not like top tier aim, then she's kind of an A. But if you have like pinpoint accuracy and you know you can land all your sleep darts, you can land all your biotic nades onto the right targets, then she'd probably be like S tier. But just for ranked and this being a mainly console oriented, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say it's a strictly console tier list, but me playing on Switch personally, gonna put her at an A. I think she's only A worthy. That the ammo nerf definitely hurt her really a lot. Definitely. Mei, A+. I mean, there's nothing she really does extremely well anymore. I don't know, she's above average DPS. Lack of mobility kind of holds her back still, but she still does decent damage, able to block off choke points, gets her ult relatively quick, able to slow things down for your team to kill like Roadhog. Great check to Zarya, great check to things like D.Va as well, slowing them down for your team. Overall A+. Pharah, probably one of my top damage hero. I don't know, guys. I really honestly don't know. I would put Pharah way higher, but if you guys do not know, she got a couple changes. They changed her boost regeneration rate, so if you're like standing on the ground with your boost gauge all the way down from 0, they changed the rate where it completely refills. So before it would go up like within like 1 second, now it takes like 2.5 seconds to get back to full. I don't know, some people say that's a buff. I think it's a nerf. They also changed her ult. It used to be 3 seconds, now they reduced it, I think, down to 1.5 or like 2 seconds in total. I honestly think that's a nerf as well. Some people are saying that's a buff because you have more survivability and you don't get killed as quick during your ult. I mean, if you're a good Pharah player anyways, you're going to be playing your ult safe to begin with and setting up your ult to the point where you're stationary, you're not going to be getting hit the entire time, majority anyways. So, kind of a nerf there. And also this patch they released today, or like a day and a half ago, they actually reduced her primary fire rate. She shoots a lot slower now. You just can't like spam your rockets like bam, bam. Now it's like bam, and like I think it's like 0.5, like a second, or like 0.5, 0.75 seconds between each rocket now. I mean, if you're like a god tier Pharah player like me and you can play her in like almost every team, even without like a mercy pocket and like destroy teams, I'd probably put her like an S. But just for your like casual ranked player and majority, like in general, without a mercy pocket, I'd probably put her at like an A. Even with a mercy pocket, I wouldn't put her like more than like an A+. I'm gonna put her at an A+ just because mercy I think is probably the best healer in the game right now. And if you pair her with a mercy, I think she can still do a lot of work and put in a lot of work versus a lot of the other stuff, especially with a lot of the hit scans getting nerfed, like Mccree, Ashe, stuff like that getting nerfed and not being able to do as much damage to you in the sky. Even Widowmaker got nerfed as well, one of her checks. Part of me thinks she's a lot better just because a lot of the hit scans got nerfed, but at the same time, she kind of got some nerfs herself, so she's kind of in the same spot before everything changed. A+, just because she's really good with a mercy pocket. Apart from that, if you're just playing her solo without a pocket healer like mercy, I'd put her at an A. She's good on some maps, like a couple maps. I'd say like a handful, maybe like 4 or 5 maps, depending on the rotation. Apart from that, I would not play her. Unless you have like a specific team and like a specific mercy pocket, then I would. Or you're like an absolute Pharah god like me and just play her whenever. Doomfist, A+. Is your typical damage hero, not really too much. The only thing that I think really holds him back is Roadhog. You just hook him, pretty much. You hook Doomfist and he's guaranteed dead every time. One of the biggest checks holding him back from being better. D.Va, S. I think D.Va is really solid right now. Great mobility. Beam damage being lowered on things like Symmetra, Zarya, stuff like that really helps her out, definitely. I think that it was, I'm not 100% sure if that was in general or if it was for armor, but things like Zarya even having her secondary fire being reduced versus things like versus D.Va still helps her out in general anyways. A lot of the hit scans getting nerfed to really help her out as well, just because she's able to dive those types of heroes a lot better. She can dive things like a Mccree, like an Ashe, and not worry about being like blown up in like 2 seconds or having half her health gone. She can actually dive them, actually get a kill, and dive them way easier. Things like Widow, Junkrat, whatever. Really solid currently. I'm gonna put her at an S. Wrecking Ball, S. I wouldn't say he's absolutely broken, but I think he's definitely top tier right now. More of like a stall type tank. You just spin around on point the entire time, or you just go into their backline and disrupt their backline. Able to dive a lot of the hit scans a lot easier now, especially with this most recent patch. A lot more survivability, great mobility, just whatever you want in tank. I think Wrecking Ball is really solid. Junkrat, he got nerfed this patch to the point where you can't just throw out a single bomb and then blow somebody up with your mine in a 2-tap combo. I think he got that nerfed a little bit. I think they nerfed his mine damage, or I think it was either his mine damage or they nerfed his primary fire, I think by like 5 damage or something like that. In my honest opinion, guys, I think Junkrat's still the most broken blaster, like, spam hero in the game, bro. Nerf his primary fire damage or reduce his ammo. Please. He's still fucking broken. Like, all you need to do, he takes no skill to play. He just spam. All he is spam. He takes no skill to play. Which is something I fucking hate, bro. Nerf the guy. Nerf his primary fire damage on his grenades, please. That's what he really needs. He doesn't need any slight nerfs on his mine or whatever the fuck they did this current patch or whatever is live. Nerf his primary fire. I think right now it's currently 70. Nerf it down to like 65 or like 60 or something like that, bro. Does way too much damage. He takes little skill to play. Reinhardt, S. Not gonna talk about him very much. It's over. Very solid tank. Great ult. If you know how to play a good Reinhardt, you're still gonna get excellent results in ranked games. Winston, S. Probably one of the better tanks. Beam damage, you get a bit of a nerf versus things like armor, but I think he's still super solid. Zenyatta. Gonna put him at a B. What does Zenyatta bring to the table as a support apart from a damage immune ult that can get your team up full health once every like 5 or 6 minutes? And then maybe a little bit of damage, a damage boost. His healing is garbage. He gets picked off way too easy. He has a huge head hitbox. He gets seen from a mile away. If you have anybody that can see him from like a little bit of like medium range or across the map, you're going to be getting headshotted and getting killed instantly the majority of the time. He gets dove insanely easy by things like Reaper, Tracer, Doomfist, Genji. I don't know. The only thing, if you're going to be picking Zenyatta, the only thing you provide is a damage amp for your team and a decent support ult. Apart from that, his healing is garbage. He offers nothing else to the team. Brigitte. Oh man, how the mighty have fallen. Brigitte, I think, is one of the heroes that currently has probably one of the like top back-to-back like nerfs over like a span of like 5 or 6 patches now. Ever since Brigitte got her armor taken away from her heal onto full health targets, where you'd like throw a heal onto a full health target and they would get like 50 armor. Ever since that got removed from her base kit, she's been fucking garbage. Then they nerfed her shield health. Then they nerfed her base health from 250 down to 200. I think they changed something from her whip or her I think it was her whatever her Inspire heal from her Lash or whatever her long range attack is. They changed that, and I think they nerfed the healing or nerfed something on that, or like the healing range on her Inspire or something like that as well. I don't know. If you're like me, guys, I used to be able to solo carry games playing Brig. I can't do that anymore, guys. I don't know if it's just because I get shitty matchmaking and my teams are fucking garbage, but I can't carry games on Brig like I used to, guys. I don't know what it is. I think they nerfed her to the ground way too much to the point where I wouldn't say she's necessarily bad for healing, but she just doesn't bring as much to the team as she once did. Yeah, she has a stun. with her shield. She has shield bash with a stun. Yeah, she still has a good ult. Apart from that, though, what does she bring if you're not playing a team that has like a full brawl comp? If you're not playing a team that's going to be going in with you and you're going to be going in with your tanks, she just doesn't do anything apart from like the other healers. You're better off playing Mercy in like all of your games. Brig no longer has solo carry heal potential. She doesn't bring anything to the team apart from AoE heals and a decent ult and a little bit of a stun, which is mainly, majority of the time, is going to be you trying to go after somebody anyways. It's not really like a team stun, especially if you're just playing solo ranked. Man, if you would have asked me like a couple patches ago before she got the absolute shit nerfed out of her, I would have put her at a solid S or SS, but man, way over nerfed. They way over nerfed her to the point where she's probably almost Zenyatta tier. If she gets one more nerf to something on her, either base kit or health or shield, something, I'd put her at B. She's on the cusp of being B tier. That's how bad she is currently. Really sad because she's probably the second healer I only do play, and I have not even been playing Brig as much lately just because she's so bad. She has no... they took away her solo carry potential, in my honest opinion. Echo. Put Echo at an S. I think she's still solid. A lot of the hit scans did get nerfed, so she has a lot more survivability. I'm going to put her above Pharah as well, just because I think she brings a lot more than Pharah does currently, without a Mercy pocket. If you're pocketing Echo with a Mercy pocket, I still think she's S. I wouldn't say she's broken, but I think she's S. Just overall really solid damage hero currently. Tracer. One of my favorite damage heroes to play. Probably my second damage hero, my go-to second, apart from Pharah. I want to put her at S, but at the same time, I think she's more of like an A+. I'm going to put her at A+. I don't think she has like S-type potential unless you're like a god tier player, but in general, for the majority of your ranked play and the majority of players, I'm going to put her at an A+. I think she's above average. You can carry games with her, but you have to be like a god tier tracer to carry solo carry games with her if you're playing DPS. You have to land all your sticky bombs. You have to be getting constant picks on the healers or on their DPS. Right now, a lot of the hit scan that could somewhat brawl her did get nerfed this patch. Things like Ashe, I guess, really couldn't brawl her to begin with before they got nerfed, but Mccree could somewhat brawl her before his primary fire got nerfed. You can brawl against Mccree a lot easier now. Widowmaker can't really pick you off at long ranges anymore because you got her damage nerfed. So if you're like pretty close range now, you're not going to be getting full one-tapped. I don't know, I think she's just above average. Not going to talk about her very much. If you play like a god tier tracer and you land all your sticky bombs, you land the majority of your headshots, you know what the fuck you're doing, you know when to blink, you know when to rewind, you play a perfect fucking tracer. She has solo carry potential and ranked, and I'd probably put her at like an S, but just in general, A+. Ashe. I'm not going to say she's dog shit, but I'm going to put her at A+. She still has a really good ult. She just doesn't do as much damage now, and I think they nerfed her damage at range. So like max range, like across the map, she can't one-tap somebody with a headshot anymore, even with a Mercy pocket. So, and they also nerfed her, I think her ammo count from, I think it was 12, I think it was 14 down to 12, or I think it was like 12 down to 10 or something like that. They nerfed her ammo count now, so she has to reload a lot more. I think she still has a really good ult. Bob's great. Dynamite's still great. I don't know, I'm going to put her at an A+. I would put her lower, but I think she's still A+ worthy. Mercy. I'm not going to put her in nerf tier because I don't think she's nerfed, but I think she's incredibly good. Probably the best healer in the game right now, guys. If you want a... That isn't fucking Moira. I guess Moira's broken now, but second best healer in the game that does not deserve a nerf. I think Mercy right now is probably the best she's ever been. If you are not playing Mercy, play Mercy. She's easy to play. She gets so much value out of just pressing one button. The only thing about Mercy that I would change is I'd make her ult have a little bit more value. It charges so fast, and you get it so often, but I feel like it doesn't do anything for your team compared to a lot of the other support ults. You got Nano Boost, you got Amp Matrix, you got Coalescence, which is a great ult, and then you just have Mercy ult where you can get up in there and then get out of dodge of some damage, and then you can heal from a little bit farther range. I feel like her ult is a little bit underwhelming. That's the only thing I would change about her. Apart from that, I think she's perfect right now. Probably the most balanced, and probably the second best healer in the game that's 100% balanced currently, in my honest opinion, Mercy. I've also been... Brig's so bad right now, guys, that she has no solo carry potential anymore. I've actually resorted to playing Mercy. And you know what? I've actually been enjoying playing Mercy way more than Brig currently. That's how bad Brig is, in my honest opinion, how much nerf she's got. Sombra, A+. Kind of a more situational hero. It depends on the comp, but I think she's still A+ material. Genji, yes, needs to be nerfed. Ever since they gave him more ammo, they've reduced his spread on his ult fire, and they buffed his damage. Fucking broken. You can't lock him down. He does way too much damage. He melts you. He has hyper mobility. He gets his ult way too fast. I don't know. Then they buffed his reflect. Now you can cancel it at any time, so you don't know when his reflect is going to end. Broken. He needs his damage nerfed. He needs his ammo count reverted. Either that or something else. His ult charge rate needs to be lowered. Something. He's fucking broken. If you can play a half-decent Genji, or you have like a half a brain, and you can somewhat play Genji, you can still get insane results. That's how broken he is. Symmetra. A. I mean, she has no mobility. The only thing you're only really going to be playing around maybe 2 or 3 maps, maybe 4 maps once in a while. Or if you have a comp that relies on your teleporter to teleport to the other side of the map, or something kind of fishy, and you can go to the other side of the map, or teleport somewhere you're not really supposed to be normally without a teleporter, then maybe you can pick her up. Apart from that, she really doesn't bring anything to a team that a lot of the other damage heroes do bring. Hanzo A+. I think Hanzo right now is a little bit undervalued just because he can still do that. He can still one-shot from if you get a headshot with his arrow. A little bit undervalued. I'm going to put him at an A+. Not going to talk about him very much. Great ult, decent mobility. Good utility with his mark. Widow. A. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love playing Widow, and I kind of think being one-tapped from across the map with a headshot is a bit broken. But isn't that what snipers are supposed to do? Being that Widow is the only sniper in the game, don't you think she's supposed to have one-tap potential if you get a headshot and being rewarded for having insane aim and being able to land headshots at range? Guess what they did, guys? They nerfed her damage at range and they reduced her ammo count. Yeah, you heard me right. A sniper that's supposed to have long range and specifically created to have long range one-shot potential got nerfed to the point where at max range you can't one-shot anymore. A tier, very situational. You're gonna pick her up on maybe a handful of maps. Apart from that, she's fucking garbage now. Nerf, probably one of my favorites. She's also probably one of my favorite damage heroes to play, especially lately. But since she got nerfed, I've played her. She's not the same. She just ain't the same. Changed her drastically, and she's fucking garbage. Maybe the pro players can still make her work, but if you're talking in general and just from your above average or casual players and ranked, not gonna be making that work. Bastion A can work on certain teams. If you're just playing solo queue ranked and you can just stomp teams as Bastion, then go all in and pick Bastion. If you can get a heads up on your team and just destroy a team, by all means, go do it. Apart from that, A, more of a situational pick, depends on your comp and depends on the map. Moira broken. They reworked to the point where she has even more healing than she previously did. She has even more resources than she previously did, even though it was supposed to be a nerf / rework. Probably the best healer in the game currently. She gets her ult way too fast. The only thing that really did get nerfed is her passive heal, to where you spray your heal onto somebody and then it would tick for 4 seconds. That got reduced down to 2 seconds now. She still gets way more resource than she previously did, and she still does way more healing than she previously did prior. So more ults, great healing, no drawback. You pick Moira every game and you just win games. Needs to be reworked / nerfed yet again, or deleted from the game, because I'm sick of seeing Moira and I'm sick of going against noobs that don't know how to aim, so they just flank your backline the entire game, or they try 1v1ing you by holding a button and then thinking they can win because they have no real aim and they can't play any other support. Rework her or nerf the absolute shit out of her, please. I'm sick of fucking Moira. She sucks. I hate going against her. She's so frustrating to play against. Roadhog. Man, bro, my boy Roadhog. You know, I said Roadhog used to be garbage. If there was one thing I would change with Roadhog currently, it feels like you constantly have to reload. Like, even more so. I wish that instead of giving him a damage buff to, I think it was like 150 before, up to 170 damage, and giving him a less, like a reduced fire rate and less ammo. Don't get me wrong, Roadhog's probably the best tank in the game. If you're not playing Roadhog and you don't know how to land hooks, or if you're not playing Roadhog currently, play Roadhog. You just need a half a brain to play him. Even if you don't land half of your hooks, he does so much damage where you can just walk up to somebody and just one-tap them if you get a headshot anyways. Even at like 3/4 health, you just walk up to somebody and you just kill him anyways. He's so fucking broken. But do I think he needs some type of nerf? I think he needs his power reverted. Nerf his damage to what it was previously. Nerf his, or buff his hook cooldown. Right now it's 8 seconds. Buff it up to 6 seconds till he has his hook up every 6 seconds. And then give him his ammo back. That's all you need to do with Roadhog. You don't need to give him all this extra damage and revert his fire rate to slower fire rate and reduce his ammo count. Don't get me wrong, I love playing Roadhog now. He's the best tank in the game. He's my main tank I do play, but I just wish they would have went about it differently, just because I hate fucking reloading every 2 seconds. But if you're not playing Roadhog, you carry games. If you can play a half-decent Roadhog, if you have like half a brain, even if you don't land the majority of your hooks, you do so much damage to where you can even carry games. You have to be absolutely fucking dumb or not know how to play the game at all to fuck up Roadhog currently. He's just that fucking broken and good. Lucio, A+, not going to talk about him very much. Okay ult. Decent heals. Mainly for comps that need the speed boost and get around the map a little bit quicker. Apart from that, you're not going to really be choosing him. More of a above average pick, but it's not kind of more map dependent / comp dependent. Not bad by any means. I don't know. At least there's nobody at C tier and nobody at absolute trash tier. That's always a good sign, but I don't know, bro. The constant balance changes like every week and a half really make it difficult, at least for a content creator that makes tier lists and somebody that just plays ranked, having to constantly adjust stuff that gets tweaked and all this shit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If there's something you do agree on, disagree, whatever. 100% opinionated. Keep in mind it is more of a console-orientated list because I only play on Switch. So if you're playing on PC or anything else, it may look a bit different. Whatever. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Thanks for watching.